Hey guys, MDPrepper here, starting another series, this time on low cost or reasonably low cost blades for SHTF. Basic prepping, that type stuff, and just general SHTF. I've done reviews on just about all these blades you're going to see here, and I've got a lot of others that I'm going to show, but couldn't get them all on the camera, obviously. So, I talk about zombie apocalypse, I talk about basic blade use in all my reviews of all of these blades I think I have reviewed at some point, but I've not done them specifically in the context of SHTF, how useful these things will be in an emergency, something like that. Now the emergencies we're talking about, all real world stuff. Natural disasters, we're talking hurricanes, snowstorms, power outages, droughts, etc. On the power outage side, EMPs, general breakdown of society, civil disturbance and unrest, economic collapse, whatever you want to think about and prep for. We're going to talk about these blades in that context. Again, SHTF, not zombie apocalypse, not EDC, nothing like that. What would you need to pick if you had to? Or what are your options? What's going to be the best ones? All of these are lower cost blades. I think the most expensive one here on the table is about 50 bucks or so, give or take. Generally run in the $20 to $30 range across the board. So these are generally affordable for everybody for the most part. Some are a lot less expensive. All the quality blades. Not going to be reviewing any junk. And I just want to talk about the options of these in individual reviews, which I've already done general reviews, but like I said, I want to talk about these in SHTF format with that mindset. The criteria, the things we're going to be talking about with these blades. We're talking about the blade style, the steel, and the grind on them. Next, we'll be thinking about the grips and the handle, because those, obviously, as you can see here, vary widely. General use purposes, just general day-to-day use. I'd say my general day-to-day use best blade is a kitchen knife at this stage. Living in a house with power and everything else, everything's running fine, but probably don't want a kitchen knife in SHTF as my primary. We're going to be talking about general use, just day-to-day type stuff, general fixed blade uses, and we're going to talk about just about fixed blades, I think. We're going to talk about bushcraft and woods lore style uses. Not everybody lives out in the woods, but maybe you need to baton wood, maybe you need to chop wood or saw wood or whatever you need to do. Skin game, those sorts of things. Obviously, we're also going to talk about defensive tactical uses, self-defense. A lot of these blades are great for self-defense. Some of them, maybe not so much. Obviously, self-defense is important. I prefer a firearm, but sometimes all you might have is a knife, or you come down to that. Talk about skin and game, those types of options, game processing, etc. if you live out in the woods. We're also going to talk about the sheaths for all these blades, because sheaths are important. It's not just about the blade. It's about the sheath and its options and how useful that can be. So, like I said, we're going to be doing individual reviews of all these blades. A whole lot more beyond this, I think, as time rolls on. So you're going to be seeing these fairly regularly, several a week probably. We're going to see how they do, how they hold up for general purpose. We're going to be eventually, at the end, talking about which of these blades is best for the three situations out there. Urban survival and urban prepping and carrying blades is one thing. Suburban is something else, living out in suburbia. And thirdly, living out in the woods. Those are all three very different criteria. There is no single blade that is best for all three. If you're doing bushcraft and living out in the woods, and I do live out in the woods, my choices are going to be different than somebody living in New York City or Chicago or Atlanta or wherever. So we'll be addressing that somewhat. I'll be talking about what I think is best. I have personally lived in all three of those scenarios and locations for a ridiculously long amount of time. Overall, I prefer woodland and rural living, but anyway, I'm going to be talking about that option as well and that aspect. So you'll be seeing a lot of videos here in the future. These are just a few. Let me go ahead and say my favorite overall blade is on the table. You will see that at the end of this series whenever that comes around. I'll of course be doing other videos and other reviews in between all that, but just thought it was time for another series of reviews. MDPrepper, out.